recording.
Okay, so last time we introduced the notion of algebra in a multi-tensor category. And we provided some basic example. And today we will talk about module over algebra in a multi-tensor category. Module over algebra in a multi-tensor category. Module over algebra object. Yeah, if you want to avoid any confusion with your usual algebra, you can talk about module. You can say module object over algebra object. In C. Okay. Okay. So, the usual module object, you have the choice of taking right module or left module, but here for module over algebra, the usual one will be the right one. And of course, we can mention left also. So we will define for the right, and for the left, it will be similar. But if we don't specify later, what we will call module are in fact right module. So a right module over an algebra object, algebra object, MU, a right module. So denoted right a module in the category C, the multi-tensor category C. So it's a pair M, the pair MP, where P is an object in C, where M is an object in C, and P is a morphism from M tensor A to M. So is a pair MP, where M is an object in C, and P just a morphism. Such a morphism. Such that we have the following commuting diagram. Following diagrams commute. So what kind of ambiguity do we need to avoid here? So start from A tensor M tensor A tensor A. So you can apply the associativity constraint of the multi-tensor category to change the parenthesis. And then we have two choices here. We can apply the morphism P or the morphism M. So P tensor IDA or IDM tensor M. And we get M tensor A, M tensor A. And then we can apply 2 times the morphism P. And so this diagram commute. And there is also another diagram about the unit. So maybe I will write it here. So you start M tensor 1. So you can apply the unique constraint. You get M. You can apply the morphism U from the algebra A, an identity for M. So IDM tensor U, and you go to that, or you just apply identity of M here, and here you apply the morphism P, and you get this diagram to commute also. So okay. So that was a for right module, write a module over an algebra A in a multi-tensor category C. But similarly, we can define the notion of subalgebra, of ideal, of homomorphism of algebra, homomorphism of module. In the categorical setting, so we will not define that. It can be defined similarly. In fact, we will just define a bit later the notion of homomorphism of module, but the other can be defined similarly. And also we can define notion of left A module as for right A module. So we can similarly define the notion of subalgebra ideal homomorphism of algebra or of module. And we will define that later. Well, this one later, the other can be defined similarly as the definition of right A module. So they can be defined in the categorical setting. In the categorical setting. Okay. And we can also define, similarly, the notion of left A module. And in fact, we will see relation between left and right A module and taking right adjoint or left adjoint. Let MP be a right A module. Then we have a left A module as follows. Right dual of MQ, where Q will be defined now, is a left A module with Q. So Q should be a morphism from A tensor star M to star M. So you see it's a left. So A acts on the left. You see for right, A act on the right. When I say act, it's just a notation. So it can make sense in the categorical setting also, but anyway, A is on the left. What is on the left is A, not the module. Okay, so what is Q? With Q is like that, and what is the definition of Q? The definition of Q will be the image of P under the following isomorphism of Ohm's space, being the image involving the natural adjunction isomorphism and some other isomorphism. Image of P by the isomorphism like that. C M tensor A to M isomorphic to C star M star A tensor star M morphic to C A tensor star M to star M. What are these isomorphisms? So the first one is just the taking the right dual of the morphism. And the second one is the natural adjunction isomorphism. So you just move that here. Okay. And so the image, you start from P, and you go there, and you go there, and what you get is the definition of Q. So it's okay. So similarly, if you start from a left A module, using the left dual, you can get a right A module. similarly if M is a left A module, then M star, M dual is a right A module. Okay. So now, let me define this one, homomorphism of A module. Okay. Module homomorphism. Okay, so let MIPI I equal 1, 2 be 2 right A module. In C, petit answer category. So a morphism, c'est alpha in between M1 and M2 is called a A module homomorphism if it satisfies the following property involving some commuting diagram. Homomorphism if the following diagram commute I guess. I write I guess because it is not in the book. In the book that I just said, you can define similarly. In the book that just said that we can define similarly everything. So I choose to define, in this case, myself. So I guess what I give here is really the good definition. So you start, this commuting diagram look very natural, so that should have no problem, but I guess there is no other diagram to commute also, should be okay. So start from M1 tensor A or M2 tensor A. So you can apply here alpha, an identity of A. Here you apply the morphism from the A module structure, P1, P2. You get M1, M2. And here you can apply again alpha. And I guess that this is the only commuting diagram needed to define a module homomorphism. So as we said, A module homomorphism is a morphism from M1 to M2 in the category C. So the space, so the set of a module homomorphism form a subspace of the home space between M1 and M2. Such a module homomorphism form a subspace of the full morphism, space of all the morphism between M1 and M2. And this subspace of a module homomorphism is denoted as follows. A M1, M2. Okay. So now you will see that. So you have the A module. If you take the A module as object and the A module homomorphism as morphism, we get a category. And so we need to observe that the composition of two A module homomorphism is a module homomorphism. So we really have a category here. Not that a composition of homomorphism, of such homomorphism, is still an homomorphism. So let me write when I say composition, this is as follows: M1, M2 cross M2, M3 to M1. So write a module form a category. Form category denoted mod C. And the exercise is to show that this category is abelian. Show that mod C is abelian, is an abelian category. Is abelian as a category. Okay. Okay. So now we will explain in what sense this category is related to module category. In fact, we already stated that last session. We stated that we as a preview, at the end of last session, we provided some motivation like that. So let me write the details now. Categories, mode CA versus module catégorie. So, so we will take a module category M and some object X, and we will see, we will state that X tensor M is also a module. Let MP be a module category. A module category. A module, no, not category. A module object. A module. In C. Let X in C. Just let me check. Module. I want to check whether the mistake is also in the book or only on my note. Okay. So take an A module M and an object X. Then, so M is also an object, A module object. X tensor M has also a structure of A module. A module. So we need to define a morphism. So via the following morphism for the module product. So X tensor M to be a module. So what do? You want the morphism from X tensor M tensor A to X tensor M. So you apply the associativity constraint first. So you move the parenthesis like that. Then you apply the module product on M tensor A and identity on X. And you go to X tensor M. Yeah. This is M. So, no, this is not M. This map to M. Okay. This is the module product for X tensor M. So it's an exercise to show show that we really have so it's an exercise to show that this module product provides the structure of a module on X tensor M. So we started so from an object in X and an A module, we were able to produce a new A module. So we have a functor from C cross mod CA to mod CA. So we have a functor like that, mod CA to mod CA. Okay, next. So module product, why I wrote module product? Okay. Yeah, so what? So the morphism P for the module is not called the module product. It's just called morphism. So what I write here, this is not the morphism for the A module structure, but what I mean by module product will be for the structure of module category of mod CA. So we will provide all the ingredient for making mod CA a module category. And this first ingredient is a module product. And we provide the module associativity constraint and the module unique constraint. So this is the module product. Now, what about the module associativity constraint? Now, more. So for all object X and Y in the multi-tensor category C, the associativity morphism MXYM from X tensor Y tensor M to X tensor Y tensor M is an isomorphism of a module. This is an isomorphism of a module, and for the module category structure of mod CA, that will be the module associativity constraint. Module associativity constraint that will be. So I will state the result about the fact that mod CA is a module category, the C module category. I will state that soon, but I'm just writing the ingredient here. And finally, the unit, the module unit constraint, the unit morphism is an isomorphism is also an isomorphism of a module. And this will be the module unit constraint so we get what we expected, a C module category structure on mod CA. It follows that. So we need to check really the details. The axiom of C module category. Get that mod CA is a C module category. The category mod CA together with the above ingredient module product associativity module associativity constraint and module unit constraint. This is a left C module category. Is a left C module category. And this is maybe the explanation why we wanted to take the right A module as the usual A module, defining this, because then we this lead to a C module category and a left C module category, which is also the usual C module category, is the left one. So I guess that is why they choose the right A module to be the usual one. Time is it? So it remains 5 minutes before the pause. So an example. We will take the algebra object to be what we define. We mentioned last session the X tensor X star. So let A equal X tensor X star be the algebra object defined using the evaluation co-evaluation map of last session. Define last session. Then we can make so before, so in this specific case, we can provide another construction. And for all y in C, the object my y tensor x star is a module. So it's a new kind of new construction. Here we started from some A module, and from any object you make this tensor product. It's also a module, so you should take and here what are we doing? We just take a specific algebra A, and from any object y we can make a module. But this is different from above because this one alone is not a module. If you take x tensor x, if you put here x tensor xy, then you get a module with the above construction. But here you just have xy, it's not a module. So this is a new construction of a module. So why this is a module? So what is the morphism P? P. So it should be from my tensor A to my. Defined as follow, given by so my tensor A to my. This is what y tensor x star. This is my tensor A x tensor x star. My A, and we go to x tensor y tensor x star my. And so what is the definition of this morphism? We do like that. Identity on y, tensor, evaluation map on x, tensor, identity of x star. And I will draw a picture of that after the pause. We will take the pause now. So picture, I will have a picture here. So pause. Okay. So let me write the picture corresponding to this morphism. So you have y x star x star. You start from that. So this is my A. And then you apply the evaluation map. And the identity. And so you can, up to isotopy, you can just make these two line closer, making something nice like that. So you should understand that there is no there is nothing in this curve. In fact, this is just to make the two line closer. You can just take put the line like that if you prefer. There is no nothing about this curve. So M1. Okay. Okay. So we get, so for this specific object, we can provide another collection of A module. And in fact, we start from we just take one object and we get one A module. Before we take we have one object and one A module, we get one A module. Now here in this construction, just one object and we get one A module, but for this specific algebra object. We get the C, and we get a functor, in fact, C module functor from C as a C module functor, the regular C module functor, to mod CA. As a regular C module category. And to mod CA, so we show that mod CA is also a C module category. So we have the C module functor like that. And in fact, we will see later that this functor is in fact an equivalence. We will see later that this functor is an equivalence. I guess an equivalence of C module. So C as a C module is the same thing as mod CA for any A of this form. So this is independent of the choice of X. For any algebra object of the form X tensor X star, they are all equivalent to C. And in fact, we will see maybe today, maybe next session, that mean that every algebra of this form are Morita equivalent because they are equivalent to the same the A module their A module category is equivalent to the same one. Okay. So we will see. That this implies that for all x and y, x tensor xy and y tensor y, x tensor x star and y tensor y star are Morita equivalent algebra object in C, and we will define that later. Maybe today, maybe next time. See later. And in particular, they are Morita equivalent to the when you take y equal 1. So they are Morita equivalent to the unit algebra object. Particular. Take y equal 1. So to Morita equivalent to 1 with y equal 1. So me don't know how to write this cleanly. I will shift that bit. So Morita equivalent to 1 with y equal 1. So you take y equal 1, then y tensor y star is 1. So every such algebra object is Morita equivalent to 1. Okay, the trivial algebra object. So we will see that a bit later. Okay. So what about now? So now we want to we want to provide two adjoint functors. You have the so any A module object is an object of the category C. Any A module is an object in C. So you have a forgetful functor for mod CA to C. And this forgetful functor, we will provide an adjoint of that. So we will explain the adjoint of the forgetful functor from mod CA to C. That will be, the adjoint of that will be a functor from C to mod CA. In general, in fact, that will generalize the previous construction providing another construction from C to mod CA. Here, the previous construction was for A of the form x tensor x star, but we can provide another generalization of that let A be an algebra object in C. Consider the C-module functor Fa from C to mod CA. X map to X tensor A. Okay. So I said generalization, but is it really a generalization? Because X tensor A. Here it's Y tensor X star. Anyway, maybe it's not a generalization of the construction itself, but it provides another C-module functor from C to mod CA for a general A. Before we get such a functor for a specific A, here it's for general algebra A. But I'm not sure whether the construction itself is a generalization. Should check that. Anyway, so what is? So we state that we have such a functor. So we need to show that this has a structure of a module, but this has a structure of a module because A itself has a structure of a module. And so we have the previous construction. If you take M equal A here, you have a structure of M equal A as a structure of A is a module on itself. So A is a module on itself. Anyway, so this has naturally a structure of A module, but if we want to write the morphism on X tensor A, so A module structure on X tensor A. So Q X tensor A to X tensor A, and we write as follow. So decompose like that. So it's this composition. You first apply the associativity constraint. And then you apply identity on X tensor M, and M is a multiplication on A. M is the module structure. M, this is what you need to use if you want to define a module structure on A. But we can write here directly, in fact. So Q is this composition. Q equal identity X tensor M composed with the associativity constraint. And so this functor Fa is, we will see that it is the adjoint of the forgetful functor from mod CA to C. So there is also the forgetful C-module functor. C-module functor. Mod CA to C. As I said, an A module is an object of C by definition. So this functor is straightforward. And so, as I said, the next result will state that the functor FA and forgetful, are adjoint of each other. The next result state that these functors FA and are adjoint of each other. Okay. So let me state this result. And the proof or the sketch of the proof will be just to write the appropriate morphism, the appropriate natural transformation, natural isomorphism. So we have a natural isomorphism. So these two functors are adjoint, mean the existence of a natural isomorphism between two other functors involving Hom space. So let AMU be an algebra object in C, and let MP be an A module. So we have the natural isomorphism between the following two functors involving these two Hom space, following two Hom space. So we have the natural isomorphism defined by as any natural transformation is defined by as a collection. This is natural isomorphism is defined as a collection of isomorphism. So here is a collection This is not a natural isomorphism between FA and fork. This is a natural isomorphism between two functors involving these two Hom space, Hom set. And that natural isomorphism defines the fact that FA and fork are adjoint. Okay. So proof. So as I said, the proof will just be to write explicitly the natural isomorphism and its inverse. So consider phi from om a fa of x m to om c x forgetful functor m and f map to phi of f, which is the morphism from x, which is x tensor 1, to so the following composition. You first apply identity on x and then the unit morphism. You go to x tensor A, and then you apply f, and you go to m. So you really get a morphism from x to m. So forgetful fork of m is m as an object. Okay, so this is the first morphism, the first function. And the other one. So from om c x fork m to om a f of x m. Okay. So G morphism here maps to psi G defined as the following composition. So you start from fa of x, which is x tensor A. You apply G on x and the identity on A. So you apply G on x, so you will get M. So G on x and identity of A, you get M tensor A. And then you apply the A module structure of M, the morphism P, and you come back to M. And so these two functions are inverse each other. So check that. And these two how to say that, function. These two map maybe better notation. These two maps are inverse each other. Okay. So from now, we will identify M and fork M. So M, when we say M, we say it's a module, and fork M is just an object. But we will identify these two notations. identify for M with M, just to simplify the notation. Okay. So let me state three exercises mentioned in the book. I state them because they may be used later. So first exercise, show that for all A module there exists an object in C, and so in the book they wrote and a surjection. So I don't know what they mean by surjection. I guess they mean epimorphism. A surjection from X tensor A to M. So I guess epimorphism. Okay. Second exercise. So the hint of the exercise is take X equal M. So I don't know if they want us to show that the module structure morphism P from M tensor A to M is an epimorphism, or if you need to take something else and you need to use the previous lemma. Anyway, so second exercise is to show that if the multi-tensor category C has enough projection, then so is the category mod CM, the abelian category mod CM, mod CA. Right. So if C has enough projective object, so we already defined that and recalled that recently, enough projective object, then so is mod CA. So is mean that mod CA also. So is. If C is finite, so we also recall that recently, then so is mod C. We may see later that if the multi-tensor category C is finite, then every finite C module category is of the form mod CA for some algebra A. But this is not true if you don't put finite. If you don't assume finite for C and for the C module category, then this is not true in general. That every finite C module category, the fact that the C module category are of the form always of the form mod CA. This is not true in general, but if you assume C finite and the C module category finite, then it is true. So so it's always of this form, in this finite case, it's always of the form mod CA for some algebra A, but you can have different algebra providing the same C-module category. And these two algebra are called two algebra providing the same C-module category are defined as to be Morita equivalent. So let me write all this. We will show later. When I say later, it's maybe next session or maybe next semester, because we will continue to cover the book on the next semester. So we will show later that if C is finite, then every finite C module category is of the form mod CA for some algebra A in C. And as I said, like that. So, no. False. So warning. False without assuming finite. And finite here, and finite here. Let's see, finite here. I guess this is for these two finite occurrence. So in this finite case, it's okay. So it's always of this form, but as I said, different algebra can provide same C-module category. Can provide the same C-module category, mod CA. So definition. This leads to the definition of Morita equivalence for algebra object in a multi-tensor category. Two algebra A, B in C are Morita equivalent if the C module category mod CA and mod CB are equivalent. If the C module categories mod CA and mod CB are equivalent. So if C is the trivial tensor category VEC, then the above definition of Morita equivalence in the categorical setting reduced to the usual definition of Morita equivalence for finite dimensional algebra. If C equal vec, then above definition reduce to the usual definition of Morita equivalence. On of finite dimensional algebra. Finite dimensional algebra. So let me say that, for example, K is Morita equivalent in this usual sense, or let me write like that. For example, for all n m greater than or equal to 1, mnk and mmk are Morita equivalent. So every matrix algebra are equivalent to K itself. If you take n equal 1, then Mn of K is K. So yeah, this is a basic example of Morita equivalence for finite dimensional algebra. You just take every matrix algebra are Morita equivalent. Okay. Now, so what about now? What time is it? So it remains 5 minutes. What can I say? 5 minutes. Yeah. I can just repeat what I said before. That every algebra of the form X tensor X star are equivalent. And in fact, this is a generalization of that because, not that, Mn of K is isomorphic to K to V, let me see, to V tensor V star with V equivalent to K power N. So every such algebra are Morita equivalent to K. Similarly, every algebra of the form X tensor X star are Morita equivalent to 1. And so the algebra object X tensor X star are a kind of generalization of the matrix algebra. So let me write that before finishing for today. We already stated that for every algebra A of the form X tensor X star, then mod CA is equivalent to C as C module category. So for all X and Y in C, X tensor X star and Y tensor Y star are Morita equivalent. You can see this is exact generalization of above, what is written in yellow. And then take Y equal 1, then they are all Morita equivalent to the unit. Okay. Okay. X tensor X star generalize the algebra object. It's a generalization is a generalization of the matrix algebra. Mn of K. Okay, so let me finish by stating that the converse is true, that any algebra object Morita equivalent to 1 is of this form. And this will be enough for today. Any algebra A in C which is Morita equivalent to 1 is of the form X tensor X star for some X. In other words, mod C A equivalent to C imply A equal X star for some X in C. Okay. So that's enough for today. See you later. So next time will be the last session of this semester. But we will continue to cover the book in the next semester.